I spend about $10,000 a week on my credit cards.
Yay! Just press submit on online shopping cart full of items that are finally going to heal me.
My husband spends over $1,000 a month just on phone games.
So today we're going to be talking about overspending in 2025. It doesn't matter where you turn in today's world, somebody is trying to sell you something and bleed your pockets dry. And honestly, I can't lie, it's worked. Spending too much money on things we don't really need has become the norm now, and I don't think I have to tell you how much it ruins people financially. I have a ton of examples to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with somebody who spends $10,000 a week on their credit cards.
I spend about $10,000 a week on my credit cards, so I'm going to start keeping myself accountable, and every time I spend something during the day, I'm going to post it. So first today, I got up at 5:30 this morning and I bought the Bath & Body Works Villain Collection, and then I went to McDonald's and I spent like $7 on my breakfast. All right, we went to Chipotle for lunch and I bought my kids meal and my daughter's kids meal, so we spent like $12.38 at Chipotle. Okay, we're taking our boys to Universal for their birthday in a few weeks, and I'm trying to put together like little bags to take as like a little gift. Their gift is actually Universal for a couple days, but something little to give them on their actual birthday. So we're going into Target. Not too bad, 57 at Target. We decided to stop in at Old Navy. Are these not cute? I'm getting those. And this. Okay, I just grabbed a whole bunch of these $6 shirts for my boys. $2.37. Ordered some groceries. I have a mobile order for Stacy. $16 at Starbucks. Today was a pretty typical day as far as spending.
Typical day, $850. This is also going to become a theme throughout the rest of this video, but what's really the point of uploading this? Clearly, this isn't relatable to a majority of people, and she said she wanted to keep herself accountable, but then ordered everything under the sun, going out and buying presents while also going to Universal Studios, then doing a little bit of shopping, spending a few $100s more there, and overall, it not really phasing her at all. This seems like more of a show-off than anything else. And when this absurd content starts getting pushed out to the masses and you see it over and over again, people slowly start to think that this is somehow okay to do and this is normal. I personally don't know this woman's situation. I would assume that they make quite a bit of money, but as we're going to see, people are trying to replicate this type of lifestyle and end up going broke. I asked you guys a question, do you know someone who spends too much money? And there were quite a bit of responses. Don't we all? Credit card debt is normal now. I barely know anyone that doesn't. Most people I know live paycheck to paycheck and feel fine about it. My sister spends so much money on clothes for her children. She believes her daughter shouldn't wear the same thing twice. Her closet is overflowing with outfits she'd never wear again. Honestly, I know a lot around me. They spend huge amounts of money on clothes and bags, adding to that expensive car debt. My sister and brother-in-law, for every dollar they earn, they seem to spend too. Their house price keeps increasing thanks to the hot property market, so they keep refinancing and taking out equity. I don't think they've cooked actual meals for several years, keep leasing new cars. They won't have a paid off house by retirement age, and the banks just keep allowing it. That type of spending sounds very similar to the last clip we watched. Somehow my adult sister lives rent and bill free with my parents and doesn't even have enough to pay for groceries. Still lives paycheck to paycheck and even borrows money from my parents and her boyfriend. I mean, there was example after example of these types of stories. Just unreal to me.
My wife has a habit of spending constantly, and she pretty much goes through all of the income that we have in a month. She just has this habit of when she walks in the store, she's got to buy.
Bob, when you say that, I mean, you're saying that she's spending the whole paycheck. So would you think it's a level of addiction? Would you go that far?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And has she gotten help for it? Besides you just telling her not to? Okay, why not?
Yeah, we've had numerous discussions on it.
Because you're not going to change her. She has to do the work to understand what is happening for her, because it's a real thing. I mean, it's becoming more and more common, I feel like. So why has she not taken steps to find healing in this?
The strange thing is she knows that she's the problem to our problem. And
how old are you two?
She's 78, and I'm going to be 73 in the next couple of weeks.
Bob, why don't you just take her, like, she can't have access to the money. Like if it's an addiction like this is what we would tell couples, is to say the one that is struggling does not get access to money.
Okay, so I wanted to put this example in even though we've already gone over shopping addictions before. But this could be an example of somebody who's on a fixed income right now. They're retired, getting their Social Security checks, and all the money is going out because there is a wild amount of overspending being done. Of course, adding on top of it, straining your relationship as well. And they even said on the show that this is becoming way more common for everybody. It doesn't matter the age, because so many people are talking about doom spending right now with millennial and Gen Z. Everything is so difficult right now, the high cost of living, the job market, housing market, and because of that, people are doom spending, overspending, buying every little gadget or electronic piece of clothing that they see online or in store. But these kinds of problems are still happening with every age group out there. Up next, we have a very interesting example that I wanted to put in that really does highlight the importance of financial literacy. No matter how much money you're promised in the future or given, your salary, anything along the lines of that, you could still outspend the money coming in.
For decades, Publishers Clearinghouse surprised people on their doorsteps with oversized checks and promises of a lifetime of prize money. But in April, the company filed for bankruptcy, leaving some winners without their so-called forever payments.
Ready to win $5 grand a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse?
One man who was promised $5,000 per week for life back in 2012, enough to retire on, telling KGW-TV in Oregon he no longer receives the money he relied on. The news hitting Tamar and Matthew Veach hard. They say they were receiving nearly $200,000 a year, but the payments have stopped. They told the New York Times, "We're literally in a worse spot now than we were when we won."
So I think this is a picture-perfect example of somebody overspending. I understand it was supposed to be for life, but these examples went from a pretty normal middle-class life to $5,000 a week. And one of the statements from the winners is that they relied on that money. The second couple saying that they were in a worse spot than before they won it because they were spending every single dime to inflate their lifestyle. You really couldn't save any of the $20,000 a month you were getting, especially if you won this 5 or 10 years ago. $5,000 went a lot farther than it does now. Just not a single thought of maybe I should play it safe, save some money, not spend every dollar that comes in per week. And fast forward to now where you're not getting those checks anymore and you've gone completely broke. We have a comment from one of you guys here. My mom made fun of my sister for having a $2,000 purse that she can't put $100 inside because she never has any money. But as long as you're walking around with that bag with the LV or Chanel logo on it, you can now trick other people into thinking you do have that kind of money. Oh man.
Yay! Just press submit on online shopping cart full of items that are finally going to heal me and make me feel whole and love myself. I think this is the order that's going to do it.
So even though this clip is supposed to be funny, people legitimately think this way now. Just take a look at any of the overconsumption videos that I've made on this channel. Online shopping is legitimately a hobby for people now. Some of the comments, this is the one, I could feel it. I just ordered a lip balm that I know is going to turn my life around. The order. It actually might be the order after this one or the one after that. So we could take that mindset and fast forward into the future with massive overconsumption and the price tag that goes along with it. We have a set of screenshots right here. Victim of overconsumption, lip products. And she just starts running through all of the prices, everything that's on screen. This alone is $389. Next one is $206, $265, and $180. Now, I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see. When I screenshotted this photo, this is slide 5 of 28 for this single TikTok post. We have already gone through $1,000 worth of lip products, and we are only 20% through this post. That's how much money could be spent on these types of items. Another one, a ton of blush products, $213, $251, $182, and $138. Again, this is slide 5 of 20. So maybe you only buy a couple of these items at a time, but once you start adding everything up in your collection, this could honestly turn into a price of a vehicle. It sounds insane to me. Another comment from you guys here. I think everyone who overspends is trying to fill a void that has some serious deep-rooted issues. They need to address it to truly stop overspending. While I do agree with that, it seems like a lot of society, marketing, advertising, entertainment that we watch is basically all trying to sell you something. So in turn, it becomes very difficult to not constantly overspend and consume.
So much of our culture now is just consumerism. It's just selling you things. It's taking kind of our world where we feel lonely and increasingly isolated and depressed and selling you back the solution and acting like it's a cultural trend instead of just marketing. I don't think people realize that most of our spending is just a form of emotional regulation, a way for us to cope with emotions. And so if we're having a ton of negative emotions with everything going on in our lives in the world, we're a lot more susceptible to spending money on things we probably don't need. And like this cultural narrative of like treating yourself, little tree culture, that's everywhere. And I think it really does take advantage of this idea that people are too tired and too stressed to do anything. You're too tired to cook, to plan, stressed thin to do anything, but you want dopamine, right? And so that's where this kind of little tree culture really steps in and kind of sells you things. And again, when we're exhausted, our executive function, the part of the brain that makes these rational long-term decisions, goes offline and we'll default to what's easy, what's immediate, etc.
And all of those little items start to chip away at your finances. I mean, the first video we watched was perfect. They woke up and spent $200 at Bath & Body Works. Then they went out and got food, something for breakfast. Then they got Chipotle for lunch. Went to the store, purchased some items for gifts, then went out shopping, Old Navy. It's just one after another, watching your bank account get lower and lower. Some of the comments, I realized the occasional treat was becoming a daily habit and I didn't like it. 100% my impulse spending is directly correlated to my stress levels. And with so many people being stressed out with the economy right now, that's how it becomes a daily habit, almost a ritual. And that's when it becomes an addiction and extremely difficult to stop. The clip up on screen right now, I just can't stop shopping. I don't know what my problem is. This is something that I hope my channel and the videos that I make can shed a bit more light on, because I really don't think this is taken too seriously, because why would it be talked about in today's society? Say if it's on the news. Every few minutes there's advertisements trying to get you to buy something. If they actively said how bad this was for you, they'd basically be shooting themselves in the foot. As I said earlier, basically everybody is trying to sell you something in some sort of way, draining your wallet now. We have another comment from you guys. I just watched several videos of people over 60 complaining that they have to work and not retire because they're in debt and have no savings. That is the future for these people in the videos. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 10, 20, 30 years in the future when people truly start realizing that they're not going to be able to retire. They're going to have to work until they're in the grave. But we could transition to a lot of the social media content that I've seen, influencers, videos, screenshots of non-stop content with people spending money all the time and the different type of reactions that they get. Here's some pictures up on screen. How much I usually spend in a month in NYC in my mid-20s. Eating out anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000. I love eating out. Your girl doesn't like to cook. Takeout, I legitimately order every day, $20 to $50 a day. Drinking $100 to $300 a month. Shopping $600 to $10,000. Really depends, LOL. Spa days $70 to $500. Coffee $7 to $10 a day. Gifts from my friends unlimited. I legit don't know. I don't keep track, LOL. Pilates and gym $89. Another $150 for Club Pilates and $35 for Planet Fitness. Trinkets way too much. Rent almost $3,000 and $200 for utilities. In total, way too much. Help, I go from spending $5 to $8K to $15,000 to $18,000 a month. So we could go right over to the comment section. So none of this is actually your money. This genuinely made me want to cry. Life is so terrible for 98% of the population right now, and I see this while at work. Very good example of what I talked about. This is the kind of stuff that goes viral, gets put onto everybody's feed, beat into their head, and slowly you start thinking that this crazy content is normal. Now here's one that definitely made the rounds with the influencers showing off how much money they're spending, and honestly just being completely out of touch with reality right now.
So, I blacked out. Not a question.
5,900.
Every day on the
3,650.
Oh my god.
3,200.
This bag is one of Prada's
1,923.
So if you don't know who this is Michaela Noguera, a very big beauty influencer that made a video showing off her $70,000 designer haul. And this guy ended up going through breaking down the price for everything she purchased. It is funny to me, the longer my channel's been around, I could see in real time each one of the examples that we watch just annies up the previous clips. So much so that now we have videos that cost almost 6 figures just showing off wealth. I just don't understand how this is entertainment for so many people. Another comment from you guys, I remember I saw a comparison once where a guy cut open a pair of real Jordans that cost $250 and a cheap knockoff pair that cost $30. The only differences he could find between the two pairs was that the knockoff used real leather and the real Jordans used fake leather. Don't let yourselves get hoodwinked by these companies. I can't even imagine what it cost to make all of the items in that previous $70,000 designer haul. The markup must be truly astounding. But again, this type of marketing works, showing it off with big influencers and large audiences, which consist of primarily normal everyday people, are tricked into buying these designer items thinking that they're better than any of the other quality you could get in normal stores.
You know, I'm just sitting here thinking, I want my money back for all the designer shit I bought back in the day.
Like, I just feel like some stuff is just a waste of money now, no longer in season, but I'm gonna still wear it. Like, these shoes was probably $1,100, $1,200 when I bought them. I think these were like, these McQueens, they hurt my damn feet. I think these was like $600, maybe $5 something. This bag, I think this bag was like $600. I haven't worn this bag none this year.
And it's like, even like watches, like I have so many watches that I spent like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. And all I wear is the Apple Watch. Like, all I wear is my Apple Watch. Like, all that stuff is such a waste of money. Like, I wear the same shoes. I wear Crocs every day. Like, a waste of money now that I think about it.
And I can almost guarantee that he was influenced by other people wearing those items, whether it's online or in person, so he absolutely needed to have them as well. Now they sit in his room collecting dust.
What's the worst purchase you've ever made? Like, to this day, you still look back and confuse yourself as to why you did it.
Designer clothes, biggest waste of money, and most of it holds no value. There you go. Marc Jacobs, the tote bag, an unreasonable amount of Bath and Body Works sets. We're seeing a lot of similar items throughout these videos. Designer baby clothes, that sounds even crazier than normal clothes. Buying $600 Air Max headphones, I mean, it goes on and on. But people honestly turn spending money into a fun game that they could post online.
If this is under $10, I'll buy it. $6.99.
If this is under $9, I'll get it. $5.99.
Oh. This is under $9.99. I'll get it. $5.99. Let's go.
If this is under $10, I'm getting it. Okay, I'm nervous because I really want it. It's $12.99.
Oh no! That's so cute.
We'll go right over to the comments that of course TJ Maxx had to comment on. All the items mysteriously ended up at checkout anyway. Haha, that's funny. The still getting it is so real. Still getting it real. And even though these particular items in the video weren't too expensive, it still starts chipping away at your finances and is a prime example of landfill core. Nobody actually needs all of these random cups or mugs, especially when you consistently buy them month after month. They just end up sitting in the cupboard and eventually thrown out when there's too many of them and you can't fit anything in your house anymore. Here's other games that I just think are completely out of touch with reality. Whatever we scoop, we get to spend, with literally thousands of dollars on their table right now. I don't know. I just think with the landscape of 2025 and how many people are hurting, these videos seem very odd to me. Because still, in the back of my mind, it kind of just seems like they're showing off to their viewers. Another one, nothing is stopping me from seeing her spending almost $10,000 on an Ariana Grande concert. Unpopular opinion, no concert ticket is worth $500. I feel like the most should be $250. $10,000 aren't worth it. This is also becoming a lot more common on my For You page as well.
You're paycheck to paycheck with no emergency fund, and you bought Chris Brown tickets. That's really interesting.
I don't know. The whole concert thing to me has been absolutely wild for such a long time now. I really don't know how people would justify 4 or 5 figures for maybe an hour or 2 long set. There's just no way it would ever be worth it. But throughout a lot of these examples, most of the time we see these items being advertised towards women. Small little products that you could buy online, get shipped over the next day. Everything starts adding up and really hurting you in the long haul. But that doesn't mean that products aren't also specifically catered towards men as well.
I never realized how silly manvertising was, but then I saw a video of it and now I see it in real life.
Offensively large. Bourbon, bourbon, bourbon.
Dude Wipes. I just learned about Dude Wipes. I thought it was a parody. There's a men's makeup company called War Paints. It's always got a graphic of diamond plate steel for some reason, even if it's a pack of socks. But this is how everybody gets roped into overconsumption and overspending. It really does not matter who you are. They're going to use psychology and play on your emotions.
Buy a Raptor. I am not joking. It will change your life. If you want to look cool, buy a Raptor. If you want to be more successful, buy a Raptor. If you want to have fun, buy a Raptor. If you just want to reward yourself because you know you're a pretty cool person, buy a Raptor. They're expensive. Shut up. That's an excuse. But they're not safe. It doesn't get much more safe than that. They get terrible gas mileage. It's a truck. I'm pretty sure Dave Ramsey even said if you're going to buy a truck, buy a Raptor. But buy a Raptor responsibly. Only buy a Raptor if you make Raptor money, or if you've saved up Raptor money, or do what all the really cool people do and just be broke and buy a Raptor. This will give you no other option but to be more successful and to make more money, because you are not going to lose your Raptor to the bank. No, this is the we'll figure it out approach.
So who do you think this truck and this video is catered towards? I've said it before and I still think this opinion is going strong. A lot of the examples that I've seen with women being in debt are small purchases that just build up and then eventually become really out of hand. You max out credit cards, you're in a really bad spot. But it seems like to me guys will just do one fell swoop and be $90,000 in debt because they just bought a Raptor. And I mean, I can't deny how good the marketing is. I like the Raptors as well. And if you do truly make that kind of money, then you could buy whatever you want. But even as he said in the video, if you're really cool, you could buy it and be broke like most people do. The comment section doesn't make it a lot better. This man is 100% right. Even if you don't have the money, go into debt for it. It's worth every penny. Really? Best thing I've seen today. I'm trying, bro. I guess I'm buying a Raptor. I sent my last truck payment this week, just getting right back into that debt. Genius. There are so many examples of this online.
If I had 30 or 40 grand, I'd put that down on a Ram 2500. I know it'd probably be smarter to invest, but I don't know what it is about the way them things look. And the worst part is, I don't even tow a single thing.
You can't drive the S&P 500, just picked her up today, just a ton of people showing off their trucks. And on one hand, I do understand this thing is so large that you could drive around your whole family while towing something and having extra items in the bed. But as we've seen in the car payment videos, these are getting more and more expensive and out of reach for many people. But so many guys are influenced into spending all of their money, even the money they don't have, just to be able to drive around in this thing. I mean, there's another example up on screen right now of a Chevy dealership showing the absolute absurd amount of money all of their salesmen have paid for the various vehicles they've been driving while they work there. I mean, one of them even shows $1.2 million. And I highly doubt all of these guys are driving around in a Chevy Bolt EV, right? Of course not. These are all Silverados and Corvettes. One of the comments here is the $1.2 million guy buying a $100,000 truck every year and trading it in, or what? That's exactly what he's doing. Gotta have the newest vehicle to show off to everybody, right? All while rolling in that negative equity time after time. Again, if you truly have this kind of wealth, then go buy whatever you want. But if you have to finance all of these expensive purchases at 10, 12% interest, you probably shouldn't be getting it in the first place.
My husband spends over $1,000 a month just on phone games on his iPhone.
When you say that out loud, does it sound as crazy to you as it does to me?
Yes.
Like this is like illness level. How old is your husband?
29.
Okay.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I'm the one that pays the bills.
Yeah.
I pinch money wherever I can.
Yeah. Okay.
So that we can get those paid.
You guys need to get some professional help.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So this is also becoming more of a theme in my videos recently as well. A lot of the gacha games, people are getting really into gambling on their phones as well. And it turns into this guy spending $1,000 a month on random phone games. What game, LMAO? Clash of Clans is acceptable. Bro's at Town Hall 20 in Clash of Clans. This is all just getting to be too much, honestly.
Why do you care about your own self-pleasure than your wife, than your child?
My mom was the same way.
Why don't we do anything?
Because we don't talk about it.
Why don't you like talking about it?
Because
he's the problem.
I'm the problem. She has no problem with not spending, and I can't seem to stop.
Then what the f can I do?
Tools.
No.
maybe throw something at
I mean,
him.
yes, but it is still your work that you put into it in the end.
So overall, I'm trying to show you guys that it doesn't matter who you are, what age you are, everybody seems to be spending way too much money on everything.
How much have you spent since you worked at Amber Marie?
$6,000. 13? No. There's no way. My gosh, I'm in trouble. You earned it. You earned it. Don't tell my husband. What was Valerie's?
Around 20,000. Still want to stay married. Okay. So bad.
7,000. Uh-oh. I'm in deep trouble, folks. Thank you very much. I need this money back.
1,500.
I am shocked.
Let's don't talk about that. I've only been here 6 months. I would say probably maybe 7,000. Oh, well, I'm pretty close. Okay, well, I like to support small businesses. My husband or my daughter, but it's fun working here.
2 years to 2 years to 2 years.
So, who's the better customer here? Just asking.
Yeah, you're more loyal than I am.
Oh man, this is gonna be a long video. The amount of time that you spend working at these stores, retail stores, which overall most people don't like to do, including myself, taking all that money earned for your time there and putting it right back into the store. The other thing we're definitely going to see throughout these clips is one of the big reasons for divorce. You heard both of them making a joke, you know, oh, don't tell my husband. But one of the big reasons for divorce now today is financial problems, money problems. Them spending almost $40,000 at their job and thinking that it was way less, trying to hide it from your spouse is not going to end well at all. Even if you start comparing other people in the clip, the woman who worked there for 5 years and only spent $3,200 still thought that she only spent $1,500, still twice the amount. This is what happens when you're not paying attention and you're not on top of your finances. And then of course at the end, them laughing it off, oh, you're more loyal because you spent almost $40,000, ha ha ha. This could get really bad very quickly.
Guess how much you spent?
Since 2020.
Since 2020, I've spent $875.
Good luck.
10,200.
Pretty close.
I almost said 10.5.
$61.28.
Okay, go and look.
It's easy and I like it.
No f***ing way.
Yeah.
18,000.
Oh! You made money, girl math.
Oh, probably $150.
Okay, go ahead and look.
20. What?
Got probably about 3,000.
Okay.
Oh, I was wrong.
Must be around 20.
Oh, wow.
$4,500.
Oh boy, that's not it. That's close.
Yeah.
1,500. Probably 1,500. Oh.
1,400? I'm not.
I'd say about 25. Just a little off.
Now this video alone, I've seen a couple comments from you guys. I haven't gone over it because I don't have a ton of knowledge and I know it's a very touchy subject on YouTube about it, but this was a gun shop and people spend so much money on not even just a whole bunch of different guns, but every single little attachment, and then it turns into a guy spending $35,000 thinking that he spent $25,000. There was a guy who thought he spent $1,400 and spent $14,000. So I mean, this could be a very easy way to get yourself into debt overspending like this, but with how YouTube works right now, it's very touchy. I've seen a whole bunch of those channels get demonetized for basically no reason, but it definitely seems to be a problem with some people. We can look at the comments. 32,000. This video made me add up everything in my safe. Never again. The guy mad at $300 would be me. I think he said it was like $67, so still almost 5 times more what he thought, even though if you want to compare it 300 to 30,000 or 15, 20,000 we saw, really doesn't seem that bad, but it's still overspending. They really estimated their own discount. This trend really does show a little bit more into the mentality of some of these employees, because of course some discounts could be terrible and not worth it, but some could be really solid. And in the same way, you see blowout sale, you know, 50% off everything. It makes you think in your mind that you're getting a good deal, so you're going to end up spending more, especially in the long run if you're there 8 hours a day. So do people not just know about their own finances or what? Well, what we're going to see throughout this video, it's a pretty true statement. But we have a comment from you guys from the Till Debt Do Us Part video. How is it possible to be overspending by that much? Because almost every couple in that show thought that they were spending way less than they actually were. I don't know. I feel like I'm just more meticulous about the numbers, looking at the bank accounts all the time, how much money I'm spending, how much is coming in, but some people are just not like that, I guess.
All right, earned. What's we made?
I think like 50,000. Okay. Whoa, way more than I thought. Okay. 6,000. Oh. 300. $1,000. The frick? 15,000. 7,000. 1,300. 2,000.
I mean, just by this clip, you could see how wildly off all of the numbers are, either way over or way under. And this is exactly how overspending starts, because she didn't even know her actual income. She guessed 50. It was still above that, but I feel like having just a basic knowledge. I know some people argue they don't want to obsess about money and how much is coming in and going out, because then maybe you become materialistic and you only care about money 24/7. You know, I don't want that to be my entire life, but on the opposite end, we see people in copious amounts of debt because they just don't pay attention at all, and they'll just keep swiping the credit card and paying the minimum payments and just snowballing the debt into something insane.
A lot of people don't want to admit this about their spending habits, but the real reason why you feel like you don't have enough money is because you're overspending and you don't know when to stop. You're putting impulsive purchases on buy now pay later and credit card. A $20 Amazon purchase is not a lot, but it really does add up if you don't think about and look at your purchase history, and one day you open your credit card bill and you're like, how did I spend $2,000? I'm not discouraging you guys to not buy stuff, because I personally love buying things, but when it comes to stuff that I don't need, I always wait 2 days before buying the item.
And because it is so easy to purchase anything now, it's not just seeing something in the store anymore, it's on your phone. You get ads for it nonstop, notifications, and within a day or two, it could be at your house. You don't even see the money coming in and out because your credit card's already saved onto these websites. And then in the long run, you have a lot less money to spend on your actual necessities. And with the cost of living being so difficult right now, it's not like if you just stopped buying all the random crap that everybody would be rich and there'd be no problems anymore, but it is definitely a factor making things worse for some people. And with that Amazon comment now, especially in today's Amazon 2025, we have a comment from you guys: never overspending on quality items, always bulk garbage. Why? If you have looked on Amazon recently, it is starting to turn into an American Temu, a lot of just really low quality crap that you most likely don't even need and won't last, but it's just so quick having that impulsivity of buying it, you don't even have to think, and then boom, it's there the next day. Now here we have another trend that's piggybacked onto the first clip, but it's the we listen and we don't judge. I've talked about it a little bit on the relationship side of TikTok on my second channel, but this one they just end up showing how much they spent at the cafeteria in a hospital.
1. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we do judge.
Wait, Could you zoom in on that part?
So I do think this is different than the boutiques or retail stores or the gun shop, because you're doing 12-hour shifts in hospitals, most likely exhausted. So it's a lot easier just going down to the cafeteria, which most of the time has decent stuff. I mean, at least when I was in a couple hospitals, they were nicer. Maybe they're worse in other areas. And none of these were too over the top other than the last one, $4,000. But it is still a contributing factor. Just chipping away at your finances, something you don't really realize. Day in, day out, grinding through these 12-hour shifts. Obviously, you're going to be getting meals throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, you realize that maybe you lost a couple $1,000s. Again, I do definitely think it's different than the boutiques where you're just buying clothes or knickknacks or any of the gun stuff with the attachments or whatever they were buying. But not being on top of your finances and not knowing could still hurt you. I mean, I don't even know what to say. We could just look at the comments. Spending $13,000 a month is one thing, but thinking you only spent $3,500 is wild. It's so far off the mark that I feel like they have to know and they're just lying about it. But the excuse, not being able to control yourself during Christmas, goes along with a comment from you guys on the Valentine's Day overconsumption video that I made. As someone who's obsessed with the color pink and heart-shaped objects, I keep that stuff around all year. I could so easily go overboard, but I tend to just avoid the stores nowadays until Valentine's Day is over so I don't get the temptation to overspend. I'm glad that she does that, but that's definitely not the case for a majority of people. And that's how you think you spend $3,500, but actually spent $10,000 more in 1 month. But we could start going over to the other trends and the relatable posts, and let's just record how much money I spend every year, because the higher the number, the more attention it gets online. Then I'll get more followers and more likes, and then in turn more money. And then we just have a whole slew of videos like these that are just ridiculous.
All right, let's find out my 2024 yearly wrap on my credit cards. Starting off strong, we have January. I spent $783,000 in January. Well, let me explain. It's because I had bought this apartment and I got like all new furniture, and there was just like a lot of fees that I had to pay and like taxes and all that stuff. February, I spent $51,492, which isn't bad. For March, I spent $90,281, which isn't bad because I did go to Miami. I went to Ultra for like all 3 days. For April, I did really good, $45,283.
Okay, we're just going to end it there. She goes through the rest of the months. You could get the gist. It's just going to be annoying. But now it's cool to show how much you spend. Even though it looks like she is super rich, whether you like it or not, it makes everybody else on social media try to compete with each other, because the bigger the number, the crazier the story, the more attention it gets. I mean, starting off with almost $800,000 spent in a month and being so nonchalant and saying that $45,000 a month is doing really good. You know, I didn't spend a lot of money. You wonder why these types of overspending and debt videos are never ending online. But we have even more saying how much you're going to spend at a specific place, and of course it being more than you thought.
How much are you gonna spend today? $0. How much money are you gonna spend today? $0. How much money are you gonna spend? $0.
Cover, how much are you spending at Disney today?
I'll spend probably like $300.
How much are you spending today?
$98.62.
Estray, how much are you spending?
$72.72.
How much are you spending?
$0.
Lexi, how much are you spending at Disney today?
$50.
The comments don't make it much better. $0. I spent $629 yesterday. I spent $453. It's crazy that almost everything seems like a competition online now. Now we could head over to some of the credit card apps. I don't know specifically every single card that will do this, but we're starting to see some spending wraps with Chase Bank. So if you really wanted to be more hands-on with your finances and use one single credit card for everything, so you'd be able to track it, it's a lot easier than a pen and paper and writing everything down. You could start looking into apps apps like this.
Now that you've looked at your Spotify Wrapped for the year, take a look at your Chase spending Wrapped for some pain. Did I want to see the gory details of every single category that I'm spending in and how much I spent in that category? No, but could I stop clicking through all of it? I couldn't. So here's to focusing on our financial goals in 2025.
And I think many people just don't want to see how much they're actually spending on each one of these categories, because most likely people end up feeling bad about it. I mean, you can look at the caption. I wish I never found this tab on my bank app at JP Morgan. Please remove immediately. I know this is more of a lighthearted post. It's not somebody actually spending so much money and being angry that you could see it in front of their face. But many people just think like that in today's world.
There is no flex in overpaying for something. There's no flex in saying that, oh, I'll never fly Spirit Airlines. Oh, I'll never fly Southwest. I'll only fly for... Why the hell are you bragging about spending $900 on airfare that you could have gotten for $65?
Because doing that kind of stuff online, even though it seems so pretentious and out of touch with a majority of people who are actually watching that content, it still somehow works. And then in turn makes those normal people watching that video try to act like the person they're watching. It's a vicious cycle that I don't know if it'll ever stop.
Marley, how much money do you think you've spent since you worked here?
Like 800 bucks.
Nope. Taylor, how much money do you think you've spent since you've worked here?
Probably enough to put a down payment on a car. Like a decent down payment.
Look.
Decent down payment on a car. Decent down payment on a car. Wait.
How much money do you think you've spent since you've worked here?
$100.
$100.
Look at it.
Can we highlight this right here?
And I think this adds on top of a comment from you guys on my doom spending video. Stop giving it a cutesy name. It's just overspending. You could put these types of trends in that category as well. And like the second person in that video said, a down payment for a car. It was about $3,100, almost $3,200 she said she spent. It's not like it's a massive amount of money, but I think anybody would like to have an extra $3,100 in their bank account right now.
It's not even about budgeting. You don't know what your fucking paycheck is?
No. I mean, typically, it's...
How do you not know what a paycheck is?
I know what a paycheck is.
How do you not know what your paycheck is? Because that's like your time that you're putting, your effort, your energy. You're getting contractually rewarded with it. You're putting in your time. You get the money in return. How would you not know what hits your account on a monthly basis?
It goes into a shared account, and my stub just goes into what I call the graveyard. So...
Why did you call it that?
Because all of my stubs from like the entire time that I've worked there is in the graveyard.
It's the paper pay stubs that she's talking about. She puts them in her desk.
Okay. All right.
So this is another person not even knowing their income for their job. Apparently it goes to the graveyard, which I bet if you open that desk and saw how many stubs were there, you'd start to realize how much time was lost working at your job. But this could have the exact same argument. I don't even want to know how much comes in. I don't want to be obsessed with money, yada, yada, yada. But if you don't know what's coming in, you have no idea even if you're getting ripped off or not. Maybe you're making significantly less than you thought, especially with the prices of everything going up. And if you're not paying attention, you could be trading hours of your life away for less than you're worth. I don't know. This kind of stuff is just depressing to me because I feel like these are the stepping stones to people never being able to retire, working until they're dead, and always being stressed and not ahead and not being able to afford a home or start a family, anything like that.
So I've been saying for weeks, okay, I need to like buckle down. I need to stop blowing money on food and drinks and things like that because I need to save my money. Christmas is coming up. Like I have a bunch of stuff I have to pay for. What do? Guess how much a latte was? $12.88. I was like, in this economy, are you crazy? Like, okay, if anybody sees me out in the world and I have my card in my hand, I want you to punch me in the face. Like, I'm so done with like everything that I do because everything I do is just like bad at this point.
So she knew it was bad after the fact, but not enough to not do it in the first place, and then also make a TikTok talking about that bad decision. People will post absolutely everything about their life online. It's just very odd. But we have another comment from you guys. I've actually stopped overspending in part because of the content you make. I know that there's whole dedicated channels on YouTube of people who were previous shopping addicts. They were overspending and of course going into debt because of it. And they have a whole bunch of de-influencing videos and talking about quality items instead of quantity. So hopefully these videos could help some of you out if you do have the same problem as well. But here we have another clip that I think goes well with this channel for a couple different reasons, because she does say stuff that I think is true, but at the same time in that influencer, guru, coaching type of space, which is just full of scams and wasting money on courses that you really don't need. But we could take a look.
Why can't I stop spending money? I'm a spending coach and I work with women and I help them stop impulse shopping and overspending. And this is by far the most common question that I get from my students. And if you were like, yes, please help me, start by giving me a follow. And you can also start with the free training in my bio. There's a lot of different answers to this one question. One major reason, which this comes from consumer culture, is we have all been programmed to believe that products and services have the power and have the ability to deliver an emotional experience to us. And this is so powerful because really when you're buying something, you're not actually buying the product. What you're really buying is the promise of a future emotional state that you want to feel, that you think that the product has the ability to deliver to you.
Okay, so I do agree with that. The feeling of getting out of your Porsche Cayenne Turbo every time you go to the gym or the grocery store or wherever, and everybody could see that you're in a super nice, expensive car. Same thing with any of the purses, the Louis Vuitton. I mean, a lot of the materialistic stuff in society. It's supposed to make you feel good, even though it has diminishing returns. But the other part of this video is like, why is there a coach for everything now? I thought coaches were for sporting events. Now it's a life coach and a spending coach and a relationship coach, and the same basic plug of the free course in bio, which gives you virtually no information. Any of the good stuff that they try to upcharge you is in some sort of paid course, which again, most of the time isn't really worth it in the end. But being an overspending coach and then telling all of your clients to spend money on you to tell them to not spend, I think is just amazing. But we'll finish off with this clip helping people to try to stop overspending.
Beginning of the year, I decided that 2024 was going to be a no shopping year for me, and since then, I've been able to pay off $12,000 of student loans. So if you find yourself impulse shopping or even just spending on things you don't need, here are some things that I've learned. The first thing is that you would not believe how much just taking a short pause alters your decisions. Every time I've wanted something this year, I just throw it on this list, and there's about $3,000 worth of stuff on here that I didn't buy and also don't want anymore. I also learned a lot about the Diderot effect. It's really similar to an object in motion staying in motion. A person who's shopping is going to continue shopping. So for the first few weeks of this, I was adding things to this list probably every day. But then by the time February hit, I felt like the fog had cleared and I stopped adding to this list. I didn't want anything.
We've seen this a couple times on this channel. I think it would work pretty well. People will put every single item they wanted from Amazon in their notes and do the exact same thing. Wait a couple days, wait a week, and see if you actually wanted the item. And the majority of the time, people didn't want it at the end of the day. It was just the impulse, wanting to have it immediately, and the convenience of the internet today. So just holding out for a couple days could save you a ton of money, along with tracking your finances much better, of course, if you use a specific credit card that has that on the app, or other applications. I know Rocket Money, this isn't sponsored. There are many other budgeting apps as well that could end up saving you a whole ton of money if you don't realize that you're actually spending way more than you thought you did.
You guys have been begging for this video, and Jen really doesn't want to do it.
No. It's not my favorite time of year with this.
It's my 2025 Amex Wrapped video. As a 26-year-old financially irresponsible person.
Don't say that.
This year, I went on 24 vacations.
Oh my God.
I upgraded to first class 16 times.
You did not.
Bought
16 times.
Bought 9 luxury items I didn't need, including a Gucci Speedo in Capri. Hosted my sister on another Euro summer.
That was kind of nice, actually.
We opened up a new credit card this year.
Why?
Top categories this year were travel and merchandise and supplies. Oh, and I also got new brakes and tires on my car.
That is necessary. There's one necessary expense in the whole bunch.
The grand total on my American Express Platinum and Gold cards was $164,100.
I don't think he makes that much. So how is that happening? Like, how are you gonna pay that?
My new credit card.
Don't even put that one. You know what? I gotta go. I absolutely gotta go. That is insanity.
Okay, so a couple things here. I do think he actually makes this kind of money because this is a very popular TikTok account. However, this makes other people want to make these videos as well. And of course, the bigger number you have, the crazier stories, the amount of money spent, the more views and engagement and followers you're gonna get. So everything's just anteed up a little bit more each time. And if you're trying to replicate that, I mean $164,000 spent in 1 year, you're most likely going to be in some pretty heavy debt. But let's switch over to yet another crazy example, my 2025 Chick-fil-A Wrapped.
Okay, the year has officially ended, so it's time for my 2025 Chick-fil-A Wrapped. Last year, I went 349 times. Do we think I went more or less this year? Did the hate comments get to me and make me change my ways? Let's find out. How many times did I go to Chick-fil-A in 2025? December 26th. November 18. I attempted no spend November. Clearly, I did not make it through the whole month, but I tried. October 24. September 39. August 34. July 31. June 35. May 23. April 28. March 35. February 37. January 32. With a grand total of 362 times. I almost made it. 365 days.
Chick-fil-A isn't even open every single day. They're closed on Sundays. And you went almost 365 days in a year. Most of the time when I drive by too, it's pretty busy. So you'd have to wait at least a little while going almost multiple times a day. But this is just the first half of the clip. We could see how much money was spent in 1 single year.
Now, how much money did I spend at Chick-fil-A in 2025? This is supposed to say 2025. I'm not editing and restarting the video. I just noticed that. So, just use your imagination. December, $290.45. November, $245.67. October, $229.85. September, $406.14. August, $490.32. July, $396.04. June, $557.70. I think this one is so high. Well, yes, I think I went like 35 times that month, but also because it was hot, I think I got a lot of milkshakes too, so it made my dollar transactions a little bit higher. May, $362.60. April, $394.09. March, $460.87. February, $530.57. January, $346.78, with a grand total of $4,711.08.
So in my opinion, this is a perfect example of watching little incremental payments just stack up and get way more expensive than you think. Because even with how ridiculous her going almost multiple times a day in certain months, she's getting charged $10, maybe $15 each time. And some might think, you know, that's not really that bad. However, when you do it over and over again, and of course in this extreme case, in 1 single year, you could spend almost $5,000. 37 times in February that has 28 days. Chick-fil-A was only open 313 days in 2025. There you go. Even if their food is your absolute favorite thing to eat, there's no way you wouldn't get tired of it going that many times. I just don't understand. We have a comment from you guys right here. I can't imagine complaining about the high cost of living and then posting how much they spend on random BS. And I mean, it's not like they're wrong. The climate is not great right now. But then right after that, when I see yet another shopping haul or a Chick-fil-A Wrapped, you kind of have to step back and think how these people actually operate.
What is this car?
It's a 2017 Ford Mustang. That was a $25,000 car.
What's the minimum monthly payment, my dude?
$556.
What's the interest rate on this?
24.1%.
No.
Yes.
Dude, the interest rate is higher than your literal age. What's your insurance?
Car insurance payment is $770 a month.
Who sold this to you? I need to go beat the shit out of this person.
It was CarMax. I thought I could trust them.
Oh, yeah, it was. Do you know how absolutely life-ruining that is to your finances?
I would be willing to sell my car for a more expensive, newer car.
What are you talking about?
So other people that have had the same income and position at my age, they've been approved for $50,000-$60,000 cars. I like luxury, that a Lexus RCF. It's like a Japanese Mustang. Is what they call it.
So this guy got fleeced by CarMax because he absolutely needed to drive around in a Mustang at a young age, let alone the $550 car payment with the 25% interest rate, $770 a month for insurance. But you know, I'm willing to sell this car as long as I get a more expensive, newer car. You really can't make these types of stories up, man. The dealership, after he left with 24% interest, that $25,000 car is going to cost him $43,000 or $47,000, depending on if he goes with a 5 or 6 year loan. All that for a 2017 Mustang. I mean, I like the way they look, but not for 25% APR and almost 50 grand. I would be willing to sell my car. Oh, good. He's not too hard-headed for a newer, more expensive one. That was basically the rest of the comment section. I need to control my debt. I'll sell my car and get a more expensive one instead. I hope that these clips are some sort of scared straight for people, because in cases like this, it almost seems like they can't be helped. Now we could go over to some clips of employees working at retail stores and finding out how much they actually spend where they work.
Hi, I'm Paola. I'm the sales manager, and I think my year-to-date spending is like $2,800.
Look.
Should I look?
I'm Nidalyn. I'm the merchandise manager, and I think I've spent $1,800 here. Wait.
Okay, look.
I'm Aubrey, and I'm a beauty advisor and a tasker, and I think my year-to-date spending amount is $2,500.
Hi, my name is T. I'm Prestige Beauty, and I feel like my year-to-date spending is $2,000.
How much do you guys get paid? Not nearly enough to be acting like this. Textbook overspending, probably justifying it with the employee discount. How do you spend almost $10,000 basically? I need to see the hauls. The creator responds, I have a severe fragrance addiction, if that gives you an idea. Wait, this is in a year, unfortunately. Some of you spent multiple rent payments. Mine was actually 6 months of rent for me, and I think that's the worst part. You don't say. Do you guys get a discount? We do. There you go. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. A clip up on screen. POV, you get a part-time job at Lululemon. And the total goes from over $1,000 down to $300. Still, pretty substantial amount of money. But we go over to the comment section. Lululemon is actually so generous with their discounts. They have 70% off for employees. That's good. $1,000 for 7 items alone is crazy work, but thank God for your discount. I don't know. When I see examples like this, I immediately start thinking how cheap it is to actually make these items. Because even with it being the employee discount, it's not like they're selling it at a loss. All of their clothing is probably made for pennies. So of course it being over $1,000 for just a few items is insane, but even the $300 is wildly overpriced.
Oh my god.
Someone tell me, is this number bad or is this normal? For reference, I'm 28 years old, I live in the Bay Area, I have no kids, and I rent. But this is your sign to not look at your 2025 Chase Wrapped if you choose peace. Or maybe some of you, myself included, do need to check this number so we can all do better in 2026.
I just saw a video of a girl talking about her Chase Wrapped, so I decided to check mine. I'm not leaving the house again.
So even though almost all of us are on our phones 24/7, there's a good amount of the population that don't look at their spending on the apps at all. They just figured out they could see how much they spent over the year and they're shocked. I mean, $70,000 and almost $85,000? Are you kidding me? How is that even possible? A $100,000 salary after tax is $70,000? Basically all of that going to the credit card then. Another person just says with $95,000. Thankful Capital One doesn't give me this info, because why would you ever want to know about your own personal finances? Mine says $134,000. How? I don't even make that much. I used Rocket Money to look at everything. I made $49,000 this year and spent $55,000. How? I don't want to see it. That's between God and Chase. How do you not notice $84,000? Mine was $87,000. I'm sick to my stomach. There's over 1,000 comments like this. And then of course we have the people that don't take this seriously. Here's one up on screen. Aren't you embarrassed about your credit credit card debt, and then it goes to the trend of we're just a little speck in space. You know, nothing matters. It's fine. Just spend as much money as you possibly can, which in this case is how she's gotten attention online. Brooke the Shopaholic, we've gone over this account before, almost 3 million followers now. The entirety of the content is massive overconsumption. She has a shopping addiction. Here's all these hauls left and right, buying way too much stuff and saying that everything needs to change. I'm gonna declutter, throw out all of this stuff. I don't need it anymore. And then within a few weeks, it just goes right back to the overconsumption, bringing in more and more viewers each time. But at least in your case, if you're following the same plan, you're just gonna go completely broke. We got another comment from you guys right here. My neighbors have delivery trucks and Uber Eats at their house daily and wonder how we could afford to go to Europe every couple of years. It's because we're frugal and I shop at the thrift store and cook all meals at home. They're nearing 50 and the husband is switching jobs, going to a school to be an electrician because they don't make enough money. Kind of sounds like they'll be working until they're in the grave, unfortunately, all because you can't stop shopping online and getting takeout 24/7.
It's the debt you've gotten yourself in. Your sweet treat every single day. And how do we know it's because of that stuff? Because you spend twice as much as you make on a monthly basis. And it's like, what, 40% sweet treats?
I have the money for my rent and utilities and everything, and I don't want to touch that. And then I have a little bit of money in my debit card. I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch that. So silly me going to thinking, oh, well, I just made a payment, but at least I can.
Oops, I spent $750 at Chili's.
Yeah.
How can one spend $750 at Chili's? Here we got another one with the employee discount. If you get a second job at Chili's, you could eat 50% off on your shift. That's still 50% more than not buying it. I love having sweet treats every day. That's why I buy stuff to make them at the grocery store. Well, that's a pretty good transition to the next clip.
I just got $550 worth of groceries because we're not eating out in 2026. Except for today, because I already did groceries, so I can't do groceries and cook on the same day. Like, that doesn't, you can't do both.
I can't have a home-cooked meal if the groceries don't feel at home yet. For some reason, the Samsung Belgian account commented on this, and you need to unpack the groceries, so you deserve to eat out tomorrow, too. I find this even more annoying than just regular comments. Why is the official Samsung Belgian account trying to be relatable to people? To me, it's just a terrible form of marketing. The groceries need to marinate in the fridge first, duh. And then it starts snowballing into eating out way more than you should, and then a good portion of that $550 worth of groceries goes bad. But we got a quick one up next with the concerts. I mean, this one is just crazy to me.
Holy you got front row, baby! Bruno Mars, front row, let's go!
$4,000 for tickets. $4,500 is crazy though. It's only money. I'm gonna stick with my Section 200 tickets. $4,000 is insane. Another one of the prime examples right here. You know we love to talk about it, the Disney stuff.
No. You're lying. For what?
That's the face of a guilty woman.
How did I buy that much?
Our bill at the end of 3 days was $1,500. I don't know how. And then we went straight to Disney World for 5 days. I spent $800 and we were only there 6 hours into day 1. But don't worry, it's okay to overspend as long as you're not buying crazy stuff. At least that's the logic for this next clip.
Reminder, if you've been spending a lot of money on yourself recently and you're feeling bad about it, just remember that there's far worse things you could be spending your money on, like drugs, but you're not. You're buying yourself things to make you happy.
Yeah, because I bet that thought process won't go off the rails real quickly.
Not to be dramatic here, but I had to work my first full 5-day work week since December 1st, and I woke up this morning and treated myself to a coffee. 1, because I never deny myself anything, and 2, I just came to the realization I do not think I can do this for the next 30 years.
Just training your brain to have instant gratification all the time. What could go wrong? And hey, maybe you do get that coffee 5 days out of the week for the next 30 years. That's going to add up to a pretty substantial amount of money. But it never feels like that when you're in the moment buying it. But of course, we got to go to all the clips that are supposed to be relatable and funny. There's really an unlimited amount of this stuff on TikTok.
So you're telling me it's not normal that I scroll on the Real for hours and eBay and Poshmark and Vestiaire Collective every single night? Like, that's not normal?
Y'all, the way that shopping makes me feel is what I think a crackhead feels like when they take a hit. I'm on a high right now. I'm addicted too.
Every second of every day, I just want to shop and I just want to spend money and I just want to buy new things.
Things that I refuse to pay for. Nothing. That's why I can't save any money.
My idea of fun is getting a coffee and walking around Whole Foods for an hour,
buying things that I don't necessarily need.
I mean, this kind of stuff just does not stop. When it's payday, but you low-key owe $1,000 to Klarna. How much money did you save this year? Me while on a jet ski and the background audio is just saying nothing. Klarna popping up on a Sunday afternoon after impulse Christmas purchases you have absolutely no memory of. I just can't stop spending money and treating myself. I don't know what the problem is. Every time I see money in my account, I just want to spend it. There's never-ending things to buy. Why is shopping so fun? Money can buy me happiness. And here's one that's even more relatable. Talking about the storm, don't worry TJ Maxx, I'm still coming, while they're driving in a snowstorm. Sometimes you just gotta read your mom's text and move on with your day. And the next slide is her mother saying Discover card is turned off, $619 in 2 weeks. $309 weekly doesn't seem that bad. Go mom for putting her foot down, I agree. This is actually kind of sad. My parents worked so hard. I would be sick if I just nonchalantly spent that much money for someone else to pay for it. I spent $700 in 2 days. Me too. I go through that in like a week. I guess we do have problems. Oops. My future husband doesn't have to worry about me cheating. He has to worry about me running the bank account dry. Okay, I have even more examples of this, but we just gotta move on.
This is how I know I have a problem, because I just spent too much money on my hair, and I was like, you know that feeling when you're like, I just spent too much money on my hair, that was like too much, that was crazy, and you like kind of feel like a little bit bad. And I did that, you know, and my immediate like instinctual reaction was like, I have to buy something else, like, so that I got something out of it to like make myself feel better, because I didn't want to be sad about spending too much money. So I was like, okay, I need to like buy an outfit to make it feel worth it, which it doesn't make sense, I know, because I'm spending more money, like of course it doesn't make any sense, but that was like instinctual. It was like, okay, I gotta buy something, like that's just it. And I had this little outfit in mind that I hadn't been buying because it was too expensive, but what do? I bought it to make myself feel better, and now I've spent $100 more.
And we got another comment from you guys right here. This is what happens when people don't have a job, a hobby, or a passion that truly fulfills them and fills up their time. When they get bored, they start shopping. While I do agree with that, at least in the hobby realm, people definitely go overboard as well.
How much do you think you've spent since you started working here?
I'd say about like 5,000.
You want to look?
All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a little high. 30,000.
You gonna look?
God!
I'm gonna say 10,000.
10,000?
Well.
What on earth are they spending that much money on? Hobbies. Keeping the place in the green themselves. I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't have any hobbies. You should just save every single penny for the rest of your life. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of people out there spending money when they don't have the bank account to back it up.
I love spending money because I know it will come back to me. Money means nothing. I set it free and wait for its return. This is my bedroom, and there's no place like it. My comfort zone, my safe space. This is my gamer girl boss lifestyle.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that this was just bait for engagement online, because the audio was pretty ridiculous, but it does add into how crazy some people can get with hobbies. Affirm, I love spending money because I know it'll come back to me. If it was really that easy to get money to come back to you, there probably wouldn't be so many people living paycheck to paycheck in this high cost of living climate. Now we could go into even more examples, especially over this past holiday season. We have some clips up on screen of accounts giving their kids, I mean hundreds and hundreds of presents, just wildly overspending, spoiling them beyond belief, most likely for the attention online as well. So what kind of lessons are you teaching your kid with that one? But I think we're just going to end off this video with this clip.
Until very recently, I had almost 30 grand in credit card and overdraft debt. So let's revisit some of the worst purchases I made whilst I was in debt. Starting off with a 4-day holiday to Sydney, I actually convinced my friend to come with me because flights were only £600 return. Bear in mind, I was already in my overdraft and decided to go on holiday, and we were there for 4 whole days, which was the biggest waste of money. I don't know why I did that. I was going on a first date with this guy and I really fancied him, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to pay for this date. I was literally so deep in my overdraft. I'm pretty sure for this one I actually had to extend my overdraft, which is appalling. This one's not my proudest moment, a TfL travel charge of £3.80 that got declined because my overdraft was maxed out, so I had to then change the card and put it on my credit card. When I was about 18, I got into a bad habit of making new cards and then just cancelling them once the TfL travel charge had bounced because I couldn't afford to pay it back. A public toilet, my card got declined for £1 at a public toilet in Covent Garden actually. I bought Becky Hill concert tickets for £60. This was also just before I moved to Australia, and I was getting myself into worse debt before I moved halfway across the world, which really wasn't sensible. This one hit me like a kick in the teeth. A HelloFresh subscription that I forgot to cancel, £70 out of my credit card, which I was literally like, Oh man, I don't know how to pay that back. I'm pretty sure I had to pay that back in 3 installments as well, which was pretty rough.
Okay, so I did want to say paying for public toilets is just not really a thing in the US, but I do know it's a lot more common around the world, and getting your card declined there is pretty rough. But at the very end, with our subscription world now, there's a lot of them that you might start using and completely forget about it until the next month or even the next year, and you get hit with $70 from HelloFresh that you don't even use anymore. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.